Hello, MGTOWers, male rights activist, red pillars, and female male rights activists. This is the Music Man. Thank you for tuning in to the second episode of Mankind. It recently occurred to me how biased Jon Stewart is. He doesn't have any solutions. He only cares about women and minorities that agree with his liberal, elitist, feminist agenda. He conceals oftentimes what he really thinks, and he mocks and ridicules ideas that he doesn't like instead of falsifying them rationally. He talks over black Somalian anti-Sharia advocate Ayaan Hirsi Ali when she's arguing that 70% of violent crime in the world is done by Muslims. He makes fun of politicians he doesn't like by pointing out how effeminate or gay they are, while at the same time claiming to be an advocate of the LGBT and a feminist as well. He's completely self-contradictory. He makes no sense. He wants to protect all of the pussy in the world from all of the dick in the world, thus making himself the most deserving of the pussy, and yet at the same time he is too holy to fuck any of it. On top of that, he's an atheist Freemason, which is an oxymoron, because in order to be a Freemason you have to believe in God in some form. And then, being himself a Freemason, he mocks people that think Obama is Illuminati, having guilty knowledge that he is Illuminati and that he is working towards a new world order. But that isn't what I want to talk about today. As many of you know, I and my student Patrick John Coleman are spiritualists. He is a shaman and I am a guru. What that means is that we go through these altered states of consciousness sometimes. The painting that I have included in this podcast, I painted about 2 to 3 years ago. At that time, I was predicting a coming suicide epidemic that would affect mostly men and mostly young men. I had just finished fleshing out my psychological models at that time, and they were devastatingly accurate. The painting you see is called Angel Tide, and it was essentially, it's surreal in that from one perspective it looks like an angel meditating, but if you turn it 90 degrees to the right, it's a tidal wave. Now with my psychological models, I could use them descriptively, predictively, and prescriptively. It was a new science. What I saw was that the forcing of female communication rituals in the form of radical political correctness would put psychological pressure on male brains, whether they were in male or female bodies. Men would become depressed and feel bad about being men, and they wouldn't know why they were feeling those things. People ask me, why do you care so much about men? And I respond, why shouldn't I care about men? Everybody cares about women. They have enough people caring about them, and yet still they need more help. Nobody cares about men. Think of how much more charity goes to breast cancer than goes to military veterans. The people that serve this country and fight for our freedom and our way of life, we let them wander the streets alone and miserable. Societal outcasts. But if you give money for cancer boobies, you are a good person. Because while we can't sympathize with the people that sacrifice themselves out of love for us, every single one of us has had a positive experience with the boob. We have all had a nipple in our mouths at one point in time or another. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys. I know that you're depressed because you aren't talking. You need to start talking. Talk about your feelings. Talk about why you were angry. Talk about why you were unhappy. Talk about what happened to you. Talk about what you would like to experience. This is my prescription for you. I'm going to give you 1 week to find a buddy. That's right. I am implementing the buddy system. I want you to find another MGTOW or MRA or red pillar, and I want you to create your own little support group. Work out together. Learn martial arts together. If you can't afford a membership, teach each other martial arts. I have created a a martial art. I'll try to include a link. It's very simple, and you can do it without hurting yourselves. Let's see. Write poetry together, rap together, do comedy together, write music together, write skits together, act out scenes together, film yourselves together. You don't need money. The thing is that you think that you need money, or you think that you need to take a class. You don't. Just start doing it. Just start practicing your craft and improving. That's all it takes. R.A. Salvatore once wrote, "What loss is death if life is not to be lived?" Start living life, brothers. Stop letting society tell you who you are and what you can do. Stop letting them judge you. Who the fuck are they anyway? Invest in yourselves. Don't be for something that is against you. Don't waste your time and energy chasing pussy. When you start investing in yourself, the tables will turn and the pussy will start chasing you. And then you won't be infatuated with it, because you love yourself more than you love the pussy. Because you know how awesome you are, and a pussy is just a pussy. It's not magic. And you do all the work anyway, so is it worth it for you? Let Jon Stewart have all the pussy. Well, that's it for today, fellas. I want you to get back to me on whether you found a buddy or not, and how things are going. Remember to keep your chin up, and this is the Music Man signing off.